Alright, the Beat Daddies with She's All That. This is the guitar solo. CVT lesson for Jay. Never heard the Beat Daddies until I did this lesson for you, and this dude could totally pull off Stevie Ray Vaughan. Not only guitar wise, but vocally. I was like, what? It reminded me of what is the song? I'm totally forgetting, but one of the big ones, man, from Stevie Ray. Anyways, killer, man. Really enjoyed doing this lesson for you. It is, well, you've already got the tabs. I sent those first. I think we're looking at 5 pages here. Yes. Everything is notated in the tabs on page 1 as far as techniques that are used, and there's a lot of them. Blues revolves a lot around bends anyway, so you're going to have 1.5 bends, whole steps, half steps, quarter steps, the whole thing. So the first lead riff that comes in is at 8 seconds, and that sounds like this. It's a 5-note riff, so 11G, 3rd finger, back it with a couple fingers here, at least. Well, at least 1 finger, but I do 2 of them. It kind of depends on where I'm pulling off to. You know how that stuff works. If it's a whole step, then I'll use more fingers. So bend, release, pull off to 9. 11D, 9G, and hammer to 11. And he does, his style, I noticed through a lot of these riffs, where you think he may pick a note, he's going to hammer onto it. It's really cool. I can tell it's kind of a little trademark of his. That's the first one at 12 seconds. Also, bridge pickups, it sounds like for most of the song there is a section in there where I heard it switch to the actually neck pickup for most of it. There is a part where I can hear it switch over to the bridge. When you hear it get more trebly or high end, that's him switching to the bridge. I don't know how much that part mattered to you, but it's warmer and fatter through most of it, which is typically neck pickup. Okay, 8 or 12 seconds in, we got this 12B whole step. Pick it again without bending. So we have. Play that again. So it's the 12B bend. I'm backing that once again with a couple fingers. Stop the note with the pick, then pick it again. Jump 3rd finger up to 11G. This is a pre-bend release pull. It's a lot of words for something, and it's only covering 2 things here. So you're going to bend it. A whole step is 2 frets. So that G flat is going to actually start on a G sharp. There it is. Release. Pull off to 9. 11D up on 9G and down on 11G. Bend vibrato. So we have. Okay, at 15 seconds in, we have the 11th fret on the G, 1.5 bend. That's going to be a 3-fret bend. We're bending that to this. And that should sound like this. Then a whole step. Now don't release it unless you see the line coming back down on your bend. So that's the first 2 there on the second line. 9G, pick, hammer 11, pull 9. 11D, and then 9G up, rest, hammer to 11, bend, and then rest. There's another example of that hammer on a note that you may typically pick. The next riff, I gotta shut the snare off here, it's gonna buzz through everything. Okay, so the next one is at 18 seconds. This is middle finger 11 on the G. Fingering, I wrote down for most of this in here, but even at that, it's optional as far as what fingers you may want to end up using. Everyone's finger length, thickness, all that stuff is different. So I did want you to have a map of it though. The next riff goes like this. So we're going to slide that to 13, go 12, 14B, 14B, half step bend, release, pull to 12. And there's a prime example of a half step bend. Taking a C sharp and bending it to a D. And pulling off. Make sure that middle finger's out of the way. And snap. 14B, rest. Or the 12B is going to ring out. And then we got a break on the 14. The timestamps are basically the subgroups. That's kind of how I'm doing them now. Subgrouping meaning the smaller riff. Those are things you're going to probably want to repeat over and over to get more comfortable with the feel of the riff itself. Okay, so but you can match this up with the actual song if you're like, whoa, where's that at? It'll be in your tabs. 15B, whole step bend vibrato. So I'm backing that. And it seems like a lot of people struggle with the vibrato off of a bend. It takes a little finger strength, but a lot of times they'll go. It's hard for them. So don't sweat it. If you can achieve that whole step, just work towards it. Pre-bend release, we're already there. Pull off to 12. So 14G, 12G, 12B. And that's going to be a hammer-on. It's a double stop is what that's called. So I'm hammering to 13G. Make sure you don't mute out the B string in that process. And then the 14D, slide to approximately the 9th fret. You'll see that in parentheses. That's what that means. 23 seconds in, we have this riff. Oops. Okay, so let's break that one down. You're going to start 12D, slide to 14, some double stops, bar the 12th fret, G and B, 14G, B with the 3rd finger, do it again. These are tough. We're going to bend, release, pull off to 12G. And it's tricky when you have to do that off of a bar. A lot of times the B string wants to slip out underneath. Keep hard pressure when you're bending upwards on this. Release, pull off to 12G, 14D, knuckle shift that down to 14GB, 12GB, 12GB, and do a hammer pull 13-12 on the G. While that's ringing, you're going to see a hold marker in your tabs. Make sure you still hear that B note, the 12th fret off the B string when you go. And then 14D. That's a little mini subgroup, and those are things I want you to remember too. To repeat, okay? 12GB barred, and then 14A twice vibrato slide. So. Alright, then we move on to 36 seconds into the song. We got this riff. There's a lot of technique in there. 11G, half step bend release pull to 9. Vibrato, hammer 11, and then bend a whole step and rest. Just stick your hand over the strings. And at 40 seconds, we've got this one. It goes. Yeah. Cool riff. 10A, middle finger, hammer to 11. 9G vibrato. And then 11 on the D and G. And just kind of knuckle shift that. Bend it a whole step, and slide that. There's your rest. 45 seconds in, we've got this one. It's 14 on the B, 3rd finger. A lot of technique again. It goes. Three things. Bend, half step bend release, pull to 12, hammer 14. 49 seconds. We've got 11G, 12B, and this is going to sound like this. We're going to bend, release, pull the G string here to the 9th fret. It'll sound like this. So, slow down. Release, pull to 9. 11 on DGB, or no, DGD, down, up, down. 9G vibrato. So we have. And then we're still not done. There's a rest there, but then we're going to go 11D, and that's a half step pre-bend release, pull off to 9. So that'll release, pull to 9, then go 11, 11, 11 on A, D, A, and then 9, D vibrato slide. So that whole riff would go. They're very similar. Alright, page 2. This is the minute 2 into the song, 9 on the D string. Slide to 11, and then do the 9 G vibrato. Hammer 11, bend, release, pull off to 9, 11 D, rest. Sounds like this. A minute 7. We've got approximately fret 12. You don't really hear the 12, you hear the effect of the slide. Going to 15. Vibrato. And then this part was really cool. It's kind of like sweep picking. I don't know if that's something you ever mess with on guitar. You can also call it a rake. They use it in Spanish style guitar, but it sounds like this. See? And what you want to do is have your first finger on 12B, but we want to mute the D and the G string, so stick like your middle. If you can put a couple fingers if you want, but don't put hard pressure, just to mute it. And we're going to go D, G, and lift up so we can hear the 12B. It's tricky to do, but once you get them, you'll start to be able to nail them all the time. Hammer 14, 12, 12, B, G, 13, 12, G, B, vibrato, slide. A minute 11. Try to get all the little nuances here. There's a quick mute, but first we want to go to 7 on the G string, but there's a mute on that string first. So just get it ready. You can stick a few fingers down if you want, either way, but oops. And this part is done with the whammy, the vibrato. Pick the 7, hammer to 8, leave it down, go to 7B, you should hear 2 notes, and then just a real smooth vibrato with the whammy bar. 9, 8 on the G and E, same concept. And then a minute 16, go to 10D, middle finger, and this sounds like this. Really cool part. Wait, let me double check that. Yep. 10D, slide to 12. That's a whole step bend. Leave it there, drop the 3rd finger to 12B, and believe it or not, you're pretty much set up for all this now. Take that, and then back to the D. Take that whole shape, move it a half step back to 11, go D, B, D. You pick how you want. You can chop into them with downs or down, up, down. Same thing on the 10th fret. Same thing on the 9th fret. So we have. And then go to the 8th fret, but this time he's strumming them. You can either strum them or pluck them. But mute out the G as if you were doing an octave concept and strum D, G, B. And then move to 7, do the same thing. Very cool riff there. Minute 45, we have the 9th fret on the D string with the 3rd finger. Go. So we're sliding to 11. 9 G 3 times. Vibrato, rest. 9, 11, G, D. 11 G, bend, release, pull to 9. And then 11 D. A minute 48, we have another fret hand mute on the G string. And then 9 hammer to 11 on the D. And then 9 G. Very cool riff there. Alright, let's get this one out of the way first. We have very cool riff. 11G. Keep your index on 9G. We're going to pick the 11G with the 3rd finger, pushing down on it. Hammer 12 with the pinky. Pull back to 13. No, pull back to 11, I mean. And and then pull to 9. So you have 11 on D, G, D, and then 9, G, and that's alternate pick there. So middle finger 10A, hammer to 13, or hammer to 11, and I'm getting these numbers wrong here. Yeah. And then 9, hammer to 11 on the D, 9G, 9D. So that sounds like this. 11, 12, 11, 9 on the G, that's pick, hammer, pull, pull. 11 on D, G, D, and then 9, G. That's similar to the last thing we did. So we have 11, D, and you're going right into this. Slide up to 11. Wait a minute, we're starting on 11. Yeah, 11, slide to 13 on the G, and then 12B vibrato. A minute 54, we go 15, 14, 15, 14. There's a little bit of a pinch harmonic on the second time on the 15. And then 12 on the B and E, you'll hear those together. And then 12G. 14, 12, 14, 12 on the D, pick, pull, hammer, pull. Minute 57, 15 whole step bend on the B. And then we move to page 3. You're still up there. Pick it, release it, pull to 12. And then 15B, 12E. So you have 12G. Let me play a few of the notes here. This is going to go. "12 hammer, 13G, 12B rest, 14B." Then 2 minutes into the song, we've got around fret 11 on the G, sliding to 13. So that's going to be this. 12, 14 on the B. 12, 14 on the E as well. Half step bend, release. 12E, 12B, 15B, whammy vibrato. So that sounds like this. "204, we have another rake. This is off the G and the B string this time, going on to 14 on the high E. And that's going to sound like this. Let's see. Alright. 14B, bend, release, pull to 12, and those are half steps. 12B, rest, 14B, then rake, this is 205, rake the D and G, go into 14B, hammer to 15, so it should sound like this. Same concept, but 12 hammer to 14 on the B, so we go 14, 15 to 12, 14. 12 on the E and B, 14 G, B, 12 G and B, hammer to 13, 14 D, 12 G and B, just bend that slightly, and then 14 D, slide to around 7. How much time do we got? A few seconds here. 209 in the song, 9th fret on the D string, here's the riff. So let's catch that one. Slide to 11 off the D string here, fret 9. 9G, 11D, 9G, 11, 12, 11, 9 on the G. That's pick, hammer, pull, pull. And then the 11D. We did that 2 times earlier. 11G, D, 9 on the G. 11D, half step pre-bend release. Pull off the 9, 11A, 11D, 11A, 9D, slide. And we'll stop, I think we'll stop that one there. 212. Yeah, so 212 is where we'll pick it up in part 2.